All right, praise be to God. He has given us another day, another morning to walk into His Word, to live with that Word. We are currently speaking from the book of Judges. There are some wonderful stories before us. Our history is truly beautiful and amazing, and it's something God gave us. We need to learn from it. We can learn many things through history. History isn't meant to be forgotten in the morning. The Old Testament isn't meant to be discarded. The Old Testament is living. It teaches us who God is, what kind of God He is, and what His heart is like. Therefore, through the Old Testament, there are many things in our lives that we can improve. There are many things we need to reflect on in our lives. Now, Israel has become a nation without a leader. They don't even have a second in command. Who will go on our behalf? They have no answer. Questions have arisen that leave them utterly without a response. Chapter 11. Gilead, Jephthah was a mighty, valiant man. Jephthah in Gilead. Jephthah from Gilead was a mighty man, wasn't he? He was a valiant man. He was the son of a harlot. Whose son was he? He was the son of a harlot. Gilead fathered Jephthah. Gilead was his father. Jephthah was born because Gilead had a relationship with a harlot, and a child was born to her. That child was Jephthah. Gilead's wife also bore him sons. That is, his legal wife also bore sons. When the sons of his wife grew up, they spoke to Jephthah, saying, "You are the son of another woman, so you shall not inherit anything in our father's house." And they drove him out. So, when the children of Gilead's official wife grew up, Jephthah, who was the son born to the harlot, was also in the house. When both groups matured, I believe, in the issue of dividing the inheritance of land, they told him, "You cannot take our inheritance. Even though you are our father's son, you are not from our mother. Therefore, you are from an outsider tribe, so get out." And they drove Jephthah out at that young age. So Jephthah fled from his brothers and settled in the land of Tob. Men of no reputation gathered around Jephthah and went with him. Jephthah came and said, all right, I'll go." He left his land, abandoned his father's land, and joined a gang of thugs. If we were to describe it in today's language, he went off with people who were like an underworld-type group. After some time, the Ammonites waged war against Israel. Now, what are the Ammonites doing? They are waging war. And this is a group without a leader, isn't it? When the Ammonites waged war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to the land of Tob to summon Jephthah. They spoke to him, saying, "Come and be our commander so that we can fight against the Ammonites." Now, even though Jephthah was rejected by his brothers, the elders of Gilead realized, this isn't going to work. We don't have a leader in sight. There was one, but we drove him out. That's not right. Let's go to him. They said, "We will make him our leader. You come and take leadership for us. You are the right person. We have no one now. At this moment, the enemy is about to attack us fiercely. Please come," they pleaded with him. Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "Did you not hate me and drive me out of my father's house? So, why have you come to me now in your time of distress? You people are truly strange. You said you didn't want me, called me a foreigner, and said I was worthless. You drove me out, and now, why have you come to me asking for help?" Then the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "We have returned to you now so that you may go with us and fight against the Ammonites and be the head over all of us, the inhabitants of Gilead. Oh no, please forgive us. We've come to you, and if you become our leader, we will also appoint you as the leader of Gilead. We truly have no one else. You are the only leader we have," they said. Jephthah spoke to the elders of Gilead, saying, "If you take me back to fight against the Ammonites, and the Lord delivers them into my hand, will I then truly be your head?" This is a very important statement. Now it seems like Jephthah is being flattered, doesn't it? "You are our only refuge. You are the one who must help us," they say. But Jephthah is not falling for the flattery. Do you know what Jephthah says? Jephthah says, "Truly, if I go with you, and the Lord delivers the Ammonites into my hand, will you then make me king?" Now, here he is, saying, "I will not fight and win by my own strength, only if the Lord delivers the Ammonites to me." This is very important. At least the elders of Gilead, or his half-brothers, had no faith in the Lord whatsoever. But the son of that harlot woman you speak of, the son whom these Israelites rejected and drove out, he had faith that if the God of Israel helped us, if the Lord gives me victory in that battle, then will you truly make me king? He asked. I think right there we get a sense of Jephthah. Although he was labeled a thug or an underworld leader, he actually had more faith in God than even the Israelites. Now, this is God's amazing calling. We tend to abandon some people, don't we? We even drive some people out with violence. Today, we are precisely the kind of people who do that. We evaluate qualifications by looking at faces, don't we? We look at lineage, family, power, wealth. No, God sometimes takes those we abandon, those we leave behind. The very people we deem unqualified, he brings to qualification. Sometimes the people we label as unqualified are precisely the ones who possess the true qualifications. We often hear, oh, they have no faith, no belief, they don't come to church. We say, those who come to church are the holy ones. Everyone who doesn't come to church is unholy. No. Sometimes the faith held by someone who doesn't come to church is not found in someone who does. Now, this is such a story. Jephthah was rejected, wasn't he? He was considered an outsider, a rebel. According to their thinking, Jephthah had no faith and no right to the inheritance. But that's not the full story. Within this narrative, there are further insights. Now, the 10th verse. The elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord will be a witness between us. Truly, we will do as you say." Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him their head and commander. Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. Now Jephthah accepted that. All right, you are giving me leadership then. If the Lord grants me victory, I will do it. Now, one might think Jephthah is just a thug. Jephthah, a thug, knows nothing now. He's foolish. Only his physique matters. It seems as if these Israelites are setting a trap, that they're hiring a leader because they lack one, and it's all about brute force. But in reality, that's not the case. Do you know? This Jephthah, as we read from the 12th verse, before he goes to war with his enemy, he invites them to come to a peace agreement. He doesn't want to win by fighting. He prefers to settle this issue peacefully. He has the qualities of a good leader. We thought he would do it. All right, come, prepare the swords and spears. Let's go. Let's start cutting down the trees and clear the path. No, he's not like that. In the 12th verse it says, Then Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites, saying, What is the issue between you and me that you have come to fight against my land? He asked the enemy, What problems do you have with us? What is it? You always come here, camping and attacking us, killing us. What is the problem you have? The king of the Ammonites responded to Jephthah's messengers, saying, Because Israel took away my land when they came up from Egypt, from Arnon to Jabbok, and to the Jordan. Therefore, he said, they should now return that peace to those lands. He says, You all came from Egypt, took over all our land, and now you are settled there. That is our land. What should you do? You should give our land back to us, he said. But do you know? Jephthah responded in an amazing way. The answer he gave is divided into 4 parts. You should read each one separately. The answer he gives here is an extremely powerful answer. That is, his answer is one given by a historian. From verse 14 to verse 22, he narrates his history. No, you have misunderstood this problem. You need to know the true story. The historical aspect of this is that Moses actually came and asked for help. He asked to be allowed to pass through their country. At that time, you were the ones who said, No, we will not let you pass. And then God was against you. We did not come to fight against you or to seize your land, because you did not give us permission to pass. You became an enemy of God. The second story is in verses 23 and 24, where it says, When the Lord, the God of Israel, drove out the Amorites before his people Israel, are you now going to take possession of their land? Do you not take possession of what your God Chemosh gives you to possess? So we will take possession of everything that the Lord our God drives out before us. Therefore, God fought for us and gave us the land, so you have no right whatsoever to call it your land. Then verses 25 and 26 say, Are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor? king of Moab. Did he ever contend with Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel lived in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and in all the towns along the Arnon for 300 years, why did you not recover them during that time? He says, before you settled there, the Israelites were already settled in that land. Remember that history too. You have forgotten this history. Before you settled in the land, you claim as yours. The Israelites were already there. So there was no such problem during that time. This land belonged to the Israelites. Then in verse 27, it says, therefore I have not wronged you, but you wrong me by making war against me. May the Lord, the judge, decide today between the people of Israel and the people of Ammon. Nevertheless, the king of the Ammonites did not listen to the words that Jephthah sent him. Now what happens? He finally says, you are not fighting against me. You are not fighting against the Israelites. You are now fighting against God. So, please, he tells the enemy, learn your history. Don't get history wrong. According to history, you have no war with us. You have no way to take this land by fighting and killing us. This has been ours from the beginning. Now, what I told you about Jephthah, look at Jephthah. He was the son of a prostitute. He was raised in an Israelite family. Later, his brothers told him, "What? We don't want you here. Go away." But God brought him and used him. There are many such stories in the Bible. Joseph, rejected by his brothers, but God chose him. David, his brother said, "What are you doing here? If you came to distribute food, did you get any? Go home. Don't waste time here. This is a dangerous area." But he killed Goliath. Jesus Christ, the stone rejected by the builders, became the cornerstone. This story exists even today. Sometimes we dismiss people, scorn them, laugh at them, send them away. We do all sorts of things. We belittle them, but God glorifies the one who is belittled. This is God's work. Before Samuel was born, Hannah was belittled. Peninnah completely belittled her. She said, "What is this? A barren woman, a woman without children." But God saw her tears, Leah and Rebekah. There was always a rivalry between the two because of not having children. The older sister would scold the younger, and the younger would compete with the older, saying, "You have no children. Look, God blessed me." And Jacob loved Leah. He loved Rebekah. But God gave children to Leah. These are not ordinary stories. Before we despise someone, we must think 10 times. These are powerful statements in the presence of God. Sometimes, because of our love for our own child, we might reject another child. God is watching that. Today, Jephthah becomes the savior of the Israelites. Today, the Israelites ultimately have to kneel before Jephthah. You might see this as a coincidence, but it is not a coincidence. Tomorrow, we will look at Jephthah's faith. Jephthah was not an ordinary person. He was a hero of faith. However, he also made some foolish statements and some mistakes in his words. We are going to look at that in depth. It's a big story. While we look at that, we will learn the lessons that come from this, and we will strive to be righteous at the feet of God. Let us not forget Jephthah. God still keeps Jephthahs even today. Even today, in this society, in our churches, there are Jephthahs. Today, we are going to raise up those Jephthahs for the Lord. Then we will have to go on a journey with them. May the Lord help us. Thank you for this historical story, for the message embedded within it. Study it deeply. Think deeply. Understand that Jesus Christ sees all, that all is visible. Ultimately, understand that your judgment, your justice is fair. For that, gain strength, gain courage. May you bless us. In the mighty name of the living Jesus Christ. Amen.